This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Well, a new regular on the show, we have Lynn Shaw. She worries about our kids growing up. And Lynn, what's our worry this week, and how can we make our kids' lives better?
Well, first of all, John, listen, we have to fight, all of us, for every child, for every family, for every future. And that's what we do on Lynn's Warriors, because raising awareness is what makes all the difference. Silence is never an option. And again, there's no left or right here. There's only right and wrong. This has been a great week, actually, what has been happening. I want to start, John, with Washington. President Trump convened a round table to create this Homeland Security Task Force aimed at dismantling transnational criminal organizations, cartels, which is something of the Warriors we always talk about because they brought in all of this human trafficking, sex and labor trafficking of children. And he said, no way, we are going to stop this, especially when it comes to kids. We are not going to have this. He spoke in front of Stephen Miller and Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem and Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard. He said, no way, we're going to get a handle on this, and we are going to protect kids. That is the messaging at Lynn's Warriors we want to hear, and we commend our president for doing this with so much going on. But I want to point out something. John, this president has done more for human trafficking and protection of children, and this is a fact, we have studies and all that, than all other presidents combined, and people need to know that. We need to share that messaging. So we had that happening, and we also had a great piece of legislation introduced, a bipartisan piece of legislation called the GUARD Act, because we're talking about chatbots and artificial intelligence, and we're so concerned because these chatbots are infiltrating our children's algorithms on their phones, on their computers, and they're becoming these little digital friends. But these digital friends, John, are giving them bad information. They're machines. They're not doctors or psychiatrists or educators. They are learning about our children's vulnerabilities and then flipping the table and throwing bad information back out on our kids. And Senator Josh Hawley and Senator Richard Blumenthal came together. They said, we're getting a handle on this because we've learned from the history of big tech what's going on here, and we are going to shut it down. And by that, chatbots, big tech will have to say, this is a machine. There will be a notation. Also, nobody under 18 will be able to engage with a chatbot. They're going to use AI for good and have an age verification component. So these are all great things that we're talking about. And then I have to say, also, John, another great thing in New York. Let's talk about New York for a minute. With the election breathing down our necks, we came together this past week, a lot of women and men. We talked about because Mamdani wants full decriminalization of the sex trade. He doesn't talk about it, but it's there in his history, and he's just waiting because it's a very unpopular subject. So he's not going to ruffle any feathers with this one right now, but he will unleash hell on everybody. And remember, the demand is for children. So we came together, again, bipartisan, and we all decided this cannot be. We are going to fight back about this. That both sides, John, said we have to give our law enforcement the resources they need to fight this sex trafficking, to educate them what this really is, what's happening, and to give the public the tools as well. So, John, it's been a banner week. A lot of great things have been going on, and it has just been terrific. There is action, there is hope, and parents and families, we're giving them something to lean on, and that's what they need right now. So it's been a great week, John.
I'm glad to hear that, and you know what I can't understand? I can't understand the attitude of some of our Democratic friends, and at one time I was a Democrat too. I mean, I helped run Bill Clinton's campaign, and the fact is, why we're knocking out the drugs that are coming in from Venezuela by boat? Why are the Democrats objecting to it? We're trying to make Chicago safer like we did Washington, D.C. Why is the J.B. Pritzker objecting to making Chicago safer? I got tears in my eyes, Lynn, but because I don't understand the Democratic Party.
John, I got tears in my eyes, too. I don't show it to the public, though, because we know we live in a different country now. It is completely polarized. It is weaponized. There is Trump derangement syndrome. That's not just a fake couple of words. There truly is. I see it in Washington. And, it used to be, sure, everybody kind of voted down party lines or whatever, but they came together and they collaborated and they talked about things. The end of the day in Washington, everybody went out. They could be fighting during the day. They went out for a drink and dinner at the end of the day. They do not do that anymore, John. They are completely separate, both parties. But you point out a good fact.
It happened during when Newt Gingrich and Bill Clinton made a deal, the best deal this country ever made between mutual parties, and with Ronald Reagan and who was it, Tip O'Neill.
Those were the glory days when we look back now.
But there's too much hate. Too much hate between the two parties.
Okay, but you know who's watching all this hate? Our children. Don't think they're not recognizing, taking all this in, seeing this. I remind everybody again, our future American adults, our future American leaders. What does that say about a society who is allowing our children to witness all of this? And can't they see beyond themselves? Who in their right mind wants a mayor in New York City who thinks growing up a child can be a sex worker and that's perfectly fine? This is beyond crazy talk, but instead of just attacking back and saying crazy talk, it's in action, John. It's in raising awareness. It's in educating the public. It is giving them the facts and truths, and that's what we have on our side. So that is our job always at the Warriors, to go out there and to preach and give them the information, and they say, oh, I didn't understand. Media is not telling me that. And that is why I love and am so thankful, John, that you give me a spot to talk about these issues every week with you. I mean, God bless you. God bless ABC, WABC, and God bless America. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because people need this information.
And Lynn, give us your website for Lynn's Warriors.
LynnsWarriors.org, on X, on YouTube. I am there to help in any way possible, because when we come together, there is power in numbers, and it's about our precious kids.
Thank you so much, and talk to you again next week. Thank you.
Thanks, John.